I was trying to think of how I'd best describe this product, and I think it's a long range rider alert. Is that like, do you guys have a coin that you say if you're trying to explain in layman's terms what this thing is?
Well, a lot of times I've just been saying it's like an off-grid buddy tracking.
Yeah.
So, you can track your buddies no matter where you are.
All right, I'm here with Lachlan and Dan. They're the designers of the Trail Link system. We're doing a test today. We're going to go up the Swift Rapids and see how these units work. So I'm going to lead the way, and we'll figure this all out as we get going. Some tests today on range and just overall functionality of the system, but it's pretty slick. It doesn't take up a whole lot of real estate on the handlebars, as you can see, and it's this shows who's in my group. So we've got me as an orange with the 2 dots on the top. We've got green meaning connected. We've got a blue, which is probably Dan, and purple, which is Lachlan, showing that they're both connected. So. Blue is Daniel and purple is you, and because it's got a green dot there, that means you're connected. So when we go to range, that'll change. Okay.
And if I click my button, it's going to come through as a purple stop request.
There's a stop request. Yeah, right on.
Right, and then if I do like a double click, that's going to be like a help request, the connection part. And then if I do a triple click, it's going to be a big red, like an SOS.
That's very bad.
Exactly. That's when you pull over, pull your phone, try to find where they're at.
That's cool. So if it's just a stop, everybody stops, you're going to catch up, right? The other one is, hey, I may be ditched, come back and get me. I gotcha. That's cool. Okay, let's continue on here. Do you want to do a test and see how far I can get ahead of you before, like if you guys wait here, I want to see if you come into range, and then maybe once I go out of range, you start to go, leave Dan at the back, and see if we can connect all 3 through the...
Yeah.
You should take a look at the breadcrumbs.
That's what I want to see here. So
Swipe that back down. Sorry. And then you should be able to locate us.
Oh, right there.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, man. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and if you click this, this should now keep everyone in your group on the map.
Okay, cool. I'll go up there a bit here.
Alright.
Yeah, so you see blue is red, so Dan's off. I still have Lachlan and purple.
No, it's going to turn my slot off. It should be...
Oh, there we got blue. Blue is connected now. Purple's not connected. And that orange line, that's me there. They're still back at the corner. That's pretty slick. Very slick. I don't know whether you can see that on the map, but... So there's the orange line I went, and you can see they're still back there. Blue is connected. Wow, that's pretty far. you can see we've lost communication connectivity, but this is still connected. And purple is sled is off, so that's kind of cool. And he should be pulling right up to me now. That's kind of cool. There he is there. I should see him. There he is right there. That's pretty slick. And now I've stopped my sled, I've restarted it. It should automatically connect me to the group. There we go, we're all connected. Orange at the top and the green connection there, and we're both on the map. That is slick. Our comms haven't even rejoined yet. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I can see you leave the corner and coming up, and the comms are totally disconnected, so we're out of range. That's pretty far, a couple kilometers,
yeah,
right?
I think you could have gone farther.
Yeah, we can do that.
Getting you pretty well back. We should see like turning, like when you go to stationary, the phone sometimes doesn't know which way it's facing. So
Yeah.
I thought you just...
Oh yeah, right on. You can really see where it would come in handy, right? We'll do more. Like I agree with Daniel. I think that I could have went further and still been connected.
Yeah.
So I don't know where, like
It really depends on like
here you'd go forever.
the topography.
Probably go right down to the end there.
Yeah.
As we can see from here.
Yeah. Parking lot. It's awfully hard to explain what it does. Once you're using it, it's like, okay, this is really cool. And it works with OFSC map, right, as far as working in conjunction with it.
Yeah, you can have.
Yeah, you can have it running in the background and all is good.
That's what I normally do.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll do more tests as we get going here, and then do some where you alert me to stop. That's maybe one we can do. If you think of other tests we can do, just to kind of show its capabilities.
Anyway, let's get
Okay.
going, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
You got what, 200 kilometers there?
Yeah, 100 there and 100 back, right? Yeah. Is there a way to center on your map? Obviously there will
Yeah,
be.
so these are the different options. So
Oh,
this
okay,
one
cool.
centers on you. This one sort of rotates the map like you have in a GPS, and then this one centers your whole group in the frame. So
Cool.
this one, it's handy because people are driving far apart, it automatically zooms the map back so you can see the whole group.
That's slick. Yeah. Pretty cool. Oh, I'm getting an alert on the phone here to stop. So see that's purple square, so that's maybe Daniel's running hot or something. That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I know. I seen that.
Yeah, no, everything looks pretty good back here. Like, I was hanging back quite a bit at some point,
Right on.
and at least Dan and I can still hear each other, so
Yeah, cool.
I'd ask him, I'd come back, and he'd be like, yeah, look good and everything.
Perfect. Yeah. So, well, keep sending the requests through, okay? And I'll see when I get them. I keep glancing down. Like when we started in that bushy area, you come up a hill, and I looked and it was just the dot saying connected, right? So yeah, that was cool though to see it come up on the dash. You guys are good?
Yeah.
Very cool. And you see now I'm gonna reconnect here. Does a little loop, and then it'll give us all of our, there's blue connected, purple, green, and I'm orange at the top. So very cool. And it actually shows you his alert came up. I could go on the map and see it, but we already know. But yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, he sent it just before I did glance down before I turned the camera on, and I just noticed it now. But yeah, it's kind of cool because if you are running, he wasn't running hot, but if you are running hot, then you can send an alert just, hey, let's stop and cool her down. And it's such a small unit, like it's you can see it doesn't really take up too much space on the bars, and looks pretty good. I do like the simplistic light system they've got, because you don't want to take your eyes off the road too much, so the less information on there the better. You glance, I can see green, good, and it was a nice big stop alert. Studs today, you're going to be running hot, and that's or trailblazer scratchers too, but we seem to be good with just the studs going right now, and Lachlan's having some heating issues, but I think this will help him out for sure. This is a wicked little trail through here. It's almost like single track motorcycle riding. You good? Right on. That's awesome. I like that though. It's like if you're falling behind for whatever reason, like we often do, you could send an alert out just to stop, wait up, you know. Or there's the next function, which is, you know, just slow down, and then there's one that's like, holy crap, I need help, like SOS. That's quite the solar farm. face slappers in here. Holy, look at this trail on the map. That's crazy. Very cool. Some tight turns. You all right? All good? Okay, send the other one. Next one.
Are we just going to keep going?
Yeah, we'll keep going. Yep. We got, I think 30 some odd K. Yeah.
Gone so far north until I saw the red thing back there.
What's that?
I don't know, like that combine.
Oh, the combine, yeah. That's cool. I stopped and got pictures there last time I was coming through. Yeah, we got about 20K left, I think. I'll just turn it off now. Press it once, you can see both my riders are connected and I'm connected here. That was pretty cool. So I don't have anyone slamming in the back of me. It was neat just to push that button and go, hey, I'm gonna stop. Need a pit stop. I'm all about safety, and any gadgets like this that increases the safety of snowmobiling, I'm all for it. And this is one of those gadgets that's hard to explain what it does until you actually get out on the trail and use it.
Call me the Joker, call me the fool.
alert from purple. Yeah. See that? That's great. Well, there you go. We got to see it working. 105 and it was nasty back there, molded out. Holy, it was like that last time we were through here as well, but I can't say that they've had a groomer down since. Shepherd track. This is such a nice trail through here. But yeah, this was mint last time we came through here, nice and smooth, but it's not the way I remember. I think I said this was one of my favorite trails in the province that I rode on. You know, like it's swoopy like this, and got lots of scenery like that lake there. Yeah, it's better when it's smooth, that's for sure. This is nasty. Yeah, this is horrible. Even on an XRS, it's horrible. You don't want to see any of this. Worth checking it. That was my favorite trail that I've rode on for a while. We rode it earlier this year. Yeah, it's so beautiful through there. The big rock piles and stuff.
Gary, did you not see Dan's stop request?
I didn't see it because I was standing up a lot, right? I seen it, and then I seen two of them. They went blue. When I finally seen it, it was.
Yeah, I did one too. So
yeah,
there's multiple people sending them. If it's the same level. Oh, so like stop request is like the lowest level.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of alternating.
Yeah, when I looked down, it was alternating.
I could tell Dan wanted to stop to look at his amp.
Yeah.
Saw him look down a couple of times ago.
And they'll both come in and cancel that request. So that's just like a level 1. Level 2 is the exclamation mark, and level 3 is a stop sign. The whole screen goes red. Or, yeah. There we go, we've reset now. We're all connected, pretty cool. We're almost there. We got 4 kilometers to go. We're up here on Swift Rapids, and I'm with Lachlan and Daniel. They are the inventors of this cool new gadget we've been riding with today called Trail Link.
Started off a little cold, but you know, we've gotten warmed up out here. The trail's a little bumpy, but it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a great day. Having a lot of fun. Experimenting with the trail links and trying to keep our A-arms attached.
Yeah, that's right. And a couple of new features you've added to the trail link is breadcrumbing, which we use today. And I love the stop features. How when I wanted to stop, I could, being the leader, send an alert to the team. And when anyone was behind me had some issues like checking on the A-arms and that type of thing, they just sent an alert to us, and away we go. Tell me, how did you come up with the idea?
Well, so when we first got into sledding, we went up to Cochrane a couple times, and I'll tell you, up there, the trails are long and straight, and if you have any sort of issue, your buddies are gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, give them like a minute or two. If you're ripping along, they basically just disappeared. So, that was a couple years back, and then we're thinking about some more, and basically we're like, how can we fix this, right? Because we use the Cardos, like we had the communicators, but the range just seems to drop. So
yeah,
we.
And that's the thing, we had issues with the communicators today, but the trail link never faltered. We can see on the dash when it's connected and when it's not connected. And I don't think I seen, the only time disconnected was when we first started doing a test to see how far we could go. And it was only because Dan was overheated, he shut his machine off, but I could see it when he was off. So it's kind of neat. You did some long range testings. What kind of ranges are you getting out of these things?
Yeah, so like if you're out on the open ice, you get we saw up to 15 kilometers.
Wow.
And it was limited by our distance that we could actually do, because we were going across, what was it? Lake Simcoe.
Yeah.
And we didn't have like a bigger area to test that, so it could go even farther.
Wow.
In the hills and the trees, it really depends on if you have a big hill between you, but we've seen, like a kilometer, 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
Pretty good stability there. The nice thing about it is that it meshes. So like if you have a buddy that's farther out in your group and you have 2 or 3 buddies in the rear, your signal's actually going to jump. So if Gary, if you're out in front, I'm hanging off, maybe I'm.
Yeah, it all helps. If you like, when we were doing the group ride up north, we were going to spread them through the pack, and it would have been really good range on that.
So right now I'm just sitting on the side of the road, and we'll see here off in this direction, there's just some hills and trees way off in the distance. Now, if I zoom out on the map here, I'm going to see that I'm actually in a group. And the group has 3 other members. And you'll notice here, Lachlan's XS is 6 kilometers away. And it's actively updating. And that's because the packets coming from that furthest node is actually hopping between each one. So normal point-to-point systems, like maybe a walkie-talkie, you're not going to be able to get this sort of range because it needs to go the full 6 kilometers. With TrailLink, since it's a dynamic flooding mesh network, we're able to localize each node and then send the packets between them. So the packets coming from Lachlan's XS is jumping to the car, then to David, and then over to me. So it's really nice when you have a long group of snowmobilers, side-by-sides going along a trail, because everyone can stay connected, even if you have a group of 10 or 20 people spread out over the 20 kilometers.
Yeah, you guys are brothers, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of GIS and mapping background. How does that help out in developing something like this?
Well, it obviously the experience and seeing how all that stuff works is really helpful. I do all the software, so the app and the firmware on the device and stuff. So being exposed to that it sort of gives you an idea of what's going on, and keep track of all the apps out there doing that stuff. So definitely helps for sure.
Well, it's a very slick app too. Like it's I'm gonna show some screenshots and whatnot
Really
of it.
impressed with you, Dan.
It is but I'm just gonna say, like, these are not even northern Ontario, like central Ontario boys came up with this. It's 100% Canadian, and it's just a slick design. It's a slick product, and the app is insane. How a week ago it was good, and then Lachlan says, "Hey, we've added breadcrumbs," and I went, "What?" Like, that was just days ago I talked to you. You didn't have breadcrumbs.
I think
it's
we released 3 updates this week.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was
That is wild. Like, I love it. So what would you describe it as? I was trying to think of how I'd best describe this product, and I think it's how did I think about it in my helmet? A long range rider alert is what is that like? Do you guys have a coin that you say if you're trying to explain in layman's terms what this thing is?
Well, a lot of times I've just been saying it's like an off-grid buddy tracking. So,
Yeah.
you can track your buddies no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Off-grid, assuming you're within range. But with the external, like with the LED interface, it's as you're saying, you also got those alerts, right up in your line of sight.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's wild, and I think that's a really
Yeah.
cool. And when I was riding, I mentioned I like the simplicity of it because you can only glance down for a second, right? And the fact is, you can get all the information I need. I could see both you guys. I could see you were connected, and I could see I was connected as well. Those two other ones. And then when you do get an alert, it was really cool. If there's one alert, then it's the person's color. If there's two, it alternates between, which I've got a screenshot of that as well, alternating between the two colors to know that you both are telling me to stop. So very, very neat. And I think that the simplicity of it is what makes it so great, right? Like you can't have too much crap going on. Like I find even looking down at the map, and sometimes you look up and you're in a blind corner, right? And this is something you can glance and go, yep, no alerts, no alerts, no alerts. So very, very cool.
And we tried to make it as small as possible. Like the actual external module itself, it's pretty compact, so you can go and mount it up like near your dash anywhere that you really want to have those alerts. Like on his sled, he's got the external the extended glove box. He has a nice spot to mount it.
Yeah.
And it's right there in your line of sight. Like it's so easy to see, and it's simply like a USB-C cable that's running between the LEDs and your trail link, so you can mount the trail link anywhere on your sled.
Yeah, you were mentioning you could even throw it in the glove box, although you might get a less range on it, which is really cool.
Ideally, having it on your handlebar is great because it's pretty high. It's above like other metal objects.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get the same range if you have it down like behind one of the panels.
Yep.
But
But you could put it there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It would still work. Just
Yeah,
less
well,
range.
and that's the thing. We were through some crappy trails, like bad trails. They didn't move. Like it's not like they're falling off and hanging out all over the place. You don't have any wires getting in your way. And literally it took me a minute to install it in the parking lot before we headed out on the trail. So it was really cool. What do you think is next with TrailLink?
Well, we've got some good ideas. We definitely got some good ideas. Like going into the summer here, we're going to be looking lots at ATV tracking and stuff like that.
Is there a limit of number of units you can connect together?
Technically, no.
Wow.
The specifics to it is if you had maybe like 20 or 30 people, the network might start getting a little crowded. So if everyone's sending, because you can actually in the app you can set how often you want to send your location.
Right.
I think yours is default. It's set to 5 seconds.
Yeah. Right.
I think Dan and we set ours to 2. 2 is like the fastest speed.
Yeah.
So if you have 30 people trying to send their location every 2 seconds, and you're meshing, right? Because it's jumping.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You're gonna have a bajillion packets. It's so much data.
Yeah.
So that's the only limitation.
Oh wow.
With the system,
Wow.
and we've tested over. I think we had the largest group we had was around like 10 units, and
Cool.
it was still working great at that.
That's awesome. Why does that Bluetooth last further than a communicator Bluetooth?
Dan, do you want to answer this one?
Well, the simple question is it's not Bluetooth.
Oh.
So your helmet communicators, those are Bluetooth, and they're really stretching the maximum range you can do with Bluetooth with those. These use a technology called LoRa. So
Really?
it's literally just an acronym for long range, low energy.
Cool.
So it's not Bluetooth, and that's why you get so much better range than the communicators.
Who come up with LoRa? Was it you that brought that technology in, knowing your background, or did you have insight into that type of technology?
No, so I would say it's a fairly adopted technology in this space.
Like we're using the latest like chipset. So basically getting into the technical stuff here.
Yeah, that's right.
It's SeamTech that developed LoRa back in 2000, and they've been working on back then the range wasn't what it is today.
Yeah.
So they recently released like a new chipset that we're using in our units that has that better range. Being a transmitter, you're limited to 1 watt without having a ham license,
Right.
ham radio license. So we're pushing that pretty close to that limit, so it gives you that maximum range without, having to get, be licensed.
That's wild. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a misconception I had right from the get-go, that it was a
That was
Bluetooth unit,
Bluetooth.
right?
Yeah.
And I was going like, it can't be any better than my comms, and my comms are good, but not 15 kilometers. So that's insane.
Yeah.
We'll do some more tests as far as the range we can get today, but very cool.
Yeah, some other things that we're going to be working on hardware-wise is making units more standalone. So right now, the unit needs to be connected to your phone, which most people, like, you want to have the maps, like, being able to find your buddies, you're going to really have it connected. But if you have, like, kids, possibly, like, a dog that doesn't have a phone on them, then we're working on a unit that's going to have it all integrated. So basically, you'll connect your phone to it, set it up as a non-phone type device. Standalone.
Cool. Yeah, standalone.
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm looking for there.
Yeah,
and then you
that's
just
why we
mount
got
it.
him here. Dan's a techie guy.
That's what I'm here for.
We'll try building a battery into it. Like, these units, what we tried to do is make it as affordable as possible.
Yeah,
So
cool.
once we're gonna add, because right now it uses the GPS from your phone.
Yeah.
So making a standalone unit, we're gonna have to add GPS to it. We're gonna have to add, like, a battery to it. That way,
Yeah.
if you're doing dog tracking or stuff like that, for hunting, right?
Yeah.
A lot of guys go hunting with their dogs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that LoRa, that's important to have that antenna. Then that's why it's it's got an antenna.
Technically, you can have a very small LoRa antenna.
Yeah.
But we tested. I have like a whole box full of antennas that I've tested.
Yeah.
And these are by far the best antenna for, like, their size. Like, you can get like a big.
Yeah.
What do they call them? They got like a
Whip
word.
antenna, like
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
It's a couple of feet worth of antenna.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not practical in this case.
But I see a good application for side-by-sides, ATVs, like you said, enduro riding. That would be something that those bikes have batteries, they have headlights. You could easily put a USB connection on it and rig them up. And where you don't necessarily use communicators as much as you do in snowmobiles, that's where these trail links would shine, I think.
Yeah, especially with like the breadcrumbs on the map. You just have like your phone mounted. You can see all your buddies going. Like, I think that was amazing. Like, when you were going off and we were seeing you just tracing out the map with the breadcrumbs, and like, you wouldn't think it would make it such a massive difference, but it really
does make a difference.
It does if you're lost, right? Put it in a ditch, and then you send that level 3 alert to me. I see it and I stop. I can pull out my map and I can see exactly the track I was on, and where if you were on the same trail, I could see where you were.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and I could see you start your sled up, join in on it connected, and then I could see you driving to me. And when I turned around, it's on video, I turned around and said, he should be right behind me. I looked back and you're coming up the trail.
Wow.
It's really cool. I see the applications, and I hope other people can see it too.
Hey guys, we're out here on the trails using the new TrailLink iPad app. It works great because now with the larger screen size, we can both see our group information and the map view. So not only do we know where everyone is on the map, we can also see their exact distance, speed, heading, and their last update time. It works really well. It's very responsive. Here, you can just spin in a circle here. You can see the map nicely changing. And if you want to see the full map, you can simply swipe over, you can zoom in, and you can see exactly where everyone's been on the map.
Anything that can make the sport safer, I'm all into that. And this is one of those things that is really a high level of safety for riding. Whether you have communicators or not, you can put on all your buddies and your crew's snowmobiles and stay connected.
Yeah, I guess one last thing I'd mention is, like, even if you ride out a range, right, you still see their last, like, you see their whole breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
And you see their last known location, speed, and direction. So if you're going ripping down this way, your buddy goes down that way, you lose range. Like, you're gonna lose range at some point, and
that's cool.
You'll still know where they are.
That's really wild. So how do people get more information on TrailLink?
Well, you can visit our website. So that's traillink.ca. So that's with one L. So TRAILINK.ca.
Right, great.
Which is the same, like our Instagram is TrailLink with an underscore at the end, and TikTok as well, trying to do some
right on.
videos there.
Perfect. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and check them out online, and you'll see him. I met him at the Toronto Snowmobile show, and and we'll get more information out as this thing develops. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're so like ecstatic about how well these have done. Like, when we were at the show there, we hadn't actually, obviously there's no snow, we hadn't been able to get out on the sleds.
No.
But
I didn't really understand what it was about either. It's like I said it a few times. It's a hard thing to describe, but
It is.
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But when you see it in use, I think videos like today are going to be essential. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So simple. Thank you for letting me test out your products. I really appreciate it, and we'll look forward to using it more and more.
Thanks, Gary.
You wouldn't want to brap too hard over there either.
Headset connected.
I just had another headset connected message.
Oh, that's funny. Maybe you're just gonna keep getting them from
It's
now on.
yeah, it's trying.
Headset connected.
Yeah, I think I am just going to keep getting that message. Just let him get ahead a little bit, and you can see he's still connected to me. Still connected. That's awesome. Go on the map here and see where he is. There he is, right there. There he is. Should be visible anytime. You see him moving about there. Right there he is. I love it. Very cool. I'm just screen recording for a bit to see you guys on the map. Yeah. So let me go ahead a bit, but then come up, okay? And it keeps going in the map to keep all three of us in there, which is really sweet. There he is. Pretty awesome. imagine having the intelligence to develop something like this, and it's such a finished product right now. Snow dog. Very cool. I'll be longing for a good road run after this. Holy. You don't want to see this. What's the advantage of this over GPS buddy tracking, like on Polaris Ride Command or what have you?
But you have to have a new Polaris, and it only works with other Polarises.
That's true,
Same
right?
thing with the 2026 Ski-Doo announcement, right, for the 10-inch screen.
Yeah, that's a good point. You either have all Skidoo or all Polaris, where this could be on any machine, even the older ones.
Exactly.
Right? That's cool.
Easier for the people on older machines, or if your group is diverse, you have Polarises and Ski-Doos and.
Yeah. Well, Lachlan, what do they want for that module from Skidoo? $200?
I think it's $250 is what I've heard,
There you go.
but they don't have it listed up. I was trying to find it.
Yeah.
There's some guy doing a pre-release review, and he said it was $250.
And
Yeah.
they're only advertising, what, 1 kilometer? People like the Polaris one. The people
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
They just, all their buddies have to have it.
Exactly.
They have
Yeah.
a new machine, or they.
How often do you have a group of 10 riders all on Polaris, right? No.
New Polarises too, not
Yeah.
just Polarises in general.
That's right.
Plus, we have features that it doesn't have, which is what you're about to say, isn't it?
With the LEDs and stuff, the Polaris screen, because we were testing it out like in the powder and stuff, and it still penetrates pretty well through the snow, right?
Cool.
On the screens, like with the 10-inch screen, it gets kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if someone is sending like, a help request or something, it's much more likely to see it with the bright LEDs compared to the.
Yeah. I like how tactile it is too. You can click, you feel it click. It's not like a touch screen, right?
You want to find someone, you pull out your phone, you're using
Oh yeah.
you're used to, not like trying to use the 10-inch screen while your sled's overheating and like dragging it around. Where does this guy go?
Yeah. No. Oh, that's cool. That's curious, right? That's cool. Oh. There, looking. I gotta stop. Don't go. And there, I've got the green light to go. So it's been a great day riding with the Trail Link guys, and learned a lot about the system. And I had some things wrong about it too, like that it was Bluetooth, and it's actually LoRa, and it's blowing my mind on how much range they have, and we're never disconnected, and used it a few times. We don't have connection to the comms, they've failed, and we're trying to get the U-Clear to connect to Cardo. I didn't expect anything more. The U-Clears are pretty solid, but the not having comms, it's great. We're way apart from each other, and I can get an alert on screen and know to stop, which is really cool. Price point around 200 or under a unit. I think it's a pretty good value because it gives you their buddy tracking that's on any machine. Very cool. And these guys are smart. Like, they're constantly making improvements and pushing them through the network. actually find myself checking for alerts just innately without even thinking about it now. You know, at the beginning of the ride I wasn't really paying too much attention to it, but now it's like almost like looking in your rearview mirror, you know, you just keep glancing at it, and I've never seen it disconnect from the other riders today. Just that one occasion when Dan had his sled shut off. It's pretty good range. I was quite a ways ahead of them both. They were still twisting and jigging and jogging around the roads, and I got on that straight groomed trail. It was awesome. Get him. Right on. That worked out slick.
Oh yeah, you actually got it.
It said Lachlan's requesting help on the pop down on my thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ran out of gas.
Are you out of gas?
Yeah,
Wow.
feel it.
What a day. It was a good run with Trail Link. Very impressed with this unit. Now we can call up their map and see where they are. Actually still the same spot was the last report heading that direction. Not sure, but that's awesome. That's our loop we did.